Hi, I'm Ruth from Parallel and I'm going to tell you about the new format for the APM PMQ exam. And the great news is that you can now say goodbye to long essays, which I think we're all pleased about. The exam features multiple choice questions, some short answers. There's also breaks in between it, so I'm going to tell you all about those changes so that you're familiarised with the exam. So what's changing? So as I said, there are new question types that are going to be introduced. There's going to be multiple choice, select from a list, or more appropriately missing word, and short answer and long answer. Now I'm going to show you an example of each one of those just shortly. The new syllabus is aligned with the competence framework, which is a lot less cluttered. There are some new topics as well, and again I'm going to go through all of that. And the exam now includes a break for 30 minutes and the pass mark will be adjusted for each paper. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these new questions. So first of all, we've got a typical multiple response question. So you can see here that you've got a simple scenario and then you've got a number of different options. More than one of those is correct. So when you select your answer, you need to select the correct combination of the statements that are correct. This is the typical select from list question. So you have a paragraph that's written and there's a missing word in there, and you've got a number of different options for that missing word, and you just simply select the correct one as your answer. Third type is a short response. This is a short question and there's only a word or two words that's required in the answer, but there are no options to choose from. You have to know the answer for this. And then the final type is the typical long response. So here you get a little bit more of a scenario. It's based in an organisation, and then you're asked a question. You're also given some hints as to what your response should consider. And you need to make sure that when you write your long response that you include plenty of information about that. So here's an example of the answer for a typical long response. And you can see there in a couple of paragraphs that all of those items that we got the hints about have been included. So I said that there'd been lots of change to the syllabus. You can see there that an awful lot has been added and quite a few things have been removed as well. Most of the changes are quite granular in detail, but it's interesting to have a look at some of the new topics that have been added. For example, equality, diversity, inclusion, sustainability, ethics, and there's also some more information about agile and iterative life cycles as well. There's also going to be a change to the pass mark. So the exam will not have a fixed pass mark. It will be determined and moderated on the paper that you sit, kind of like GCSEs and A-levels work. This means that if a paper has got more questions that are deemed to be harder or more that are easier, the pass mark will be moderated and adjusted accordingly, making it fairer for all candidates. There's also been a change to the way that the exam is actually sat. It's now in two parts with a break in between the two parts. So that's great news for anybody that didn't fancy sitting in exam conditions for 3¼ hours. The exam is now 2½ hours split into two parts with a break of up to 30 minutes in between the parts. Once you've finished the first part, you can't go back to edit your answers. And if you want to take the full 30 minutes, that's fine, but you can resume the exam sooner. If you are doing that in a group setting though, everybody will need to start again at the same time. So what's the timeline for the new exam? So if you would like to sit the existing format of the exam, you've got until the 30th of August this year to do that. If you're a little bit more cautious and you would like to have a resit opportunity for the current version of the exam, we'd encourage you to complete that by the end of July this year. All exams for the current version must be completed by the 4th of October this year. So what are Parallel's plans to help prepare you for the new exam format? Well, as you might expect, we really welcome the changes. We think that this new exam format is going to be a lot more accessible and much more about testing your project management knowledge rather than testing your ability to type for 3 hours. We are, of course, upgrading our course materials, making sure that all of our comprehensive materials, including study guides, podcasts, e-learning and mock exam questions, are all updated, and we'll be aiming to have a sample exam ready for you in early August. For those of you that have done the previous format of course, if you would like to sit the new exam, perhaps because you found the old format challenging, then we're going to offer discounted spots on the new format courses that will be starting in August. But with everything, please do contact us and we'll be happy to discuss your best option.